Welcome to the trial run of my photo video adventure machine. It may not seem like much right now, but I have been obsessing lately, trying to do research and figure out how I can take my car, which you may have seen in other videos, and turn it into a more capable adventure vehicle. And specifically, I wanted to make it into something that I could camp in to make overnight trips easier. So today, I thought it would be fun to take you through my thought process in why I decided to do things this way, some of the choices that I made to get to this setup, and the gear that goes into that, as well as what this might mean for me and my creativity in the future. So, secure the cup, and let's get into it. There are two main reasons why I decided to go through with this. And the first one comes down to kind of where I'm at with my creative journey. It seems like in the life of a creative, or at very least in my life, there are kind of peaks and valleys in terms of the excitement around the process of creation. Some of those peaks and valleys can be caused by external things like the audience changing what they're into, or maybe the way that you make money can kind of change, or some of the things can be internal, like maybe you're just not feeling challenged by the process anymore. Maybe you just want to try something new. So after a trip up Vancouver Island where I did a little bit of soul searching, I decided that the way that I could get myself excited about my creative process and to use my camera more was by creating a little bit of challenge within that process. Hold that thought for a second. The second reason that I decided to go down this route was because I reached out to you, my audience, on both YouTube and Instagram to see if there was anything that you wanted to see more of on my channel. And while the majority basically said, hey, do whatever you want, Dunna, we're gonna be here anyway, and I really appreciate that, there was also a vocal group that said,
I really love when your videos are outdoors and on an adventure.
So when you put those two reasons together, going on more adventures, taking my cameras with me, and talking about the stuff that I'm already talking about all the time, but maybe just a little bit more on the trail and a little bit less in the office, it just kind of clicked. Snag whichever one. Sure. Excellent. So at this point, I had some decisions to make. I knew I wanted a solution that would make overnight trips and trips a little further from home easier for me. It's so annoying when you drive 3 or 4 hours away from home, you go shoot during the worst light of the day, and then you have to pack up and start heading because you know that you've got a 3 or 4 hour drive before you actually get home. So being able to overnight a little bit easier means that I can go somewhere, catch sunset, shoot during the nice light, I can stay somewhere nearby, get up early and catch sunrise if I want to, and then pack up and go home. Of course, there's also Airbnbs and hotels, and I've done this before, and I probably still will when it makes sense in the future, but one, it can get really expensive really fast, and two, they might just not be available in the area that I'm in. So then, of course, I started thinking about camping, and there were a couple of options in that realm. It was either do a tent on the ground, I could try and convert my car somehow so that I could sleep inside the car, or I could get some kind of a camper vehicle. Now, it's important to note here that I am a glamper for sure. You will not find me anytime soon in a little one-person backpacking tent out in the backcountry somewhere. So when I was considering my options, that was definitely in mind. I love the idea of a camper type vehicle, but of course that's going to be really expensive, and I kind of didn't want to own an extra vehicle and have to figure out where to park it and all that. So that was off the table. Modding out my car to be able to sleep inside it was something that I actually did a lot of research on and almost actually followed through on it. But something about taking up all the space inside the vehicle that I use every day just didn't feel like the right choice for me. And I couldn't find a solution for a temporary removable, camping setup in the vehicle that kind of worked. And then I started looking into rooftop tents, and they kind of bridge the gap of all the problems that I was having. They're supposed to be more comfortable than tents that you would just have on the ground. They're easier to set up if you get the right one. It would just stay on top of my car all the time, so I wouldn't have to worry about whether it was available or not, or whether it's in storage or not. I would still have all the space in my car like I normally do, and I mean, you guys know me, I love my camera gear, so I need lots of space for that. And ultimately, it looked like a lot of fun and a bit of a challenge at the same time, so that kind of felt like the right fit for the situation. There's so much tree matter up here. It's in my bed already. Once the decision was made to go in the direction of the rooftop tent, I got to do the exciting part of putting together a kit for these kinds of adventures. Some of the stuff I already had from my regular camping stuff that I had been doing before, but I also got to get some new stuff. First of which, of course, was the tent. Now, I decided to go with the Thule Approach Medium, and I went with this one for a couple of reasons. There were some more affordable options out there that probably would have got the job done in a similar way, but a lot of them took a lot more to put together, whereas this one is like, you pull out that ladder, you pull the whole thing down, and it's ready. I could get in it in just a couple of seconds if I want. I did have to get levelers for the car because you want to be on a level ground if you can, and I actually bought some little levels and magnets to put on my car so that I could try and figure out whether I actually am level or not. But overall, this tent just seemed to be so much easier than a lot of other comparable ones in that price range. And the reason that I got the medium one is because, first of all, I'm 6'1", I'm a fairly big guy. And second of all, if I did want to use it with my partner when we go camping, I wanted to get one that was big enough that it would fit both of us in there comfortably. So this is what the tent looks like from the inside. It's actually bigger than I was expecting it, which is really nice. It's nice and long, which again, I'm 6'1", so I need that extra length. The width of it, it's gonna be a little snuggly in here with two people, but I think it'll be just fine. It's nice they've got these pockets on the side so you can put your phone or whatever you want in here. There's no real solution right now for where to put my shoes once I get up here, so I've just kind of shoved them in a corner. And I've just got like an old sheet that we're not using anymore that I'll stretch out, and then I've got a sleeping bag for up here. So it's nice because there are all windows all around, so you've got these kind of panoramic views and you can get lots of air in there. I also found when I came in here that I've got this rain cover that I can put over top. It's not supposed to rain tonight, but I do live in the Pacific Northwest, so I might put it up anyway. But yeah, I'm excited about how much space there is in here. The next thing that I picked up was actually this table. It's a table that folds down and you can pull the whole top off, and it can adjust the height as well. And the reason that I wanted to get a table is because I might not always be staying at a campground like this where there is a table on my campsite. I might be a little bit more remote in certain adventures that I'm going on. So I thought having a nice table where I could be making food or doing work or whatever it happens to be will be super handy. Another thing that I got for a similar reason, because I never know where I'm going to end up, is this cooking kit. This pot with the lid and this burner all fit inside each other, and then you just add something like this butane tank onto it to start cooking with it. And it comes with a spork, which is potentially the most important thing that I bought. And the best part is that it all fits together and goes inside this case, so I can just kind of leave it in the car and it's ready to go whenever I need it. This big guy here is actually going to be a key part of these adventures. So you're out filming all day, you get back to the campsite, batteries are all dead, and then you want to go filming the next day or shooting photos the next day, whatever it happens to be, you're going to need somehow to charge all of that back up. This is the DJI Power 1000. I got this from DJI because I'm working on some content for them around it, but it came at the perfect time for me to take it out on these kinds of adventures. I've actually been using this today to run a light for all of this filming, and it's been so handy to have already, even though I haven't had to charge anything quite yet. So I'm really looking forward to having this on all these adventures because I'm going to need to charge my laptop, I'm going to need to charge all my camera batteries, and I might want to run bigger things like lights as well, depending on what the project is that I'm working on. Now, this guy isn't actually new, but it is something that I'm excited to take out on adventures. This is the Pakt Coffee Kit. And it kind of goes hand in hand with the Power 1000 because this actually has an electric kettle in it. And then it's also got a pour over system that sits right on top and kind of folds away. And when I'm ready to pull it out, it kind of all snaps together and I just sit it on top of my cup and I can make a quick cup of coffee. The one thing that I love about this is that they somehow managed to make this spout work like a gooseneck kettle, so you can do a nice, soft, slow pour over instead of having to try and use like a big pot like this and slowly pour it over the side and you're burning yourself and all that kind of stuff. So I'm very excited to have this so that I can be making my nerdy, high quality coffee coffee while I'm out on my adventures. Again, like I said, I'm a bougie camper. I am a glamper through and through, so I gotta have this stuff. But now that we've got everything out and pretty much set up, we're gonna do what we came here to do. I'm gonna camp here for the night, try out the tent, and I'll let you know how it went in the morning. Good morning. We made it through the night. We got our coffee, we got some porridge. We're ready to go for the day. The sleeping situation was decent. It was definitely better than camping in a tent on the ground, definitely more comfortable. I think I need a different situation for blankets. I just have a sleeping bag in there and I don't do well without being able to kind of roll over nicely. I can't really do that inside the sleeping bag. I also need to bring better pillows. I've got this little like kind of backpacking camping pillow thing in there that just wasn't doing the trick for me. And also, it gets very cold at night. The sleeping bag was great. It definitely did the trick to keep me warm, but outside of that, it was very cold. So I was just like in the sleeping bag as tight as I could be. So overall, I'm feeling pretty good about the situation. I'm definitely glad that I came out to do a trial run without too much pressure on it. Because I was filming yesterday, I didn't get to go on any kind of a little adventure and take you guys with me like I had hoped, but that'll be for the next one. This was basically to try and figure out how the camping situation was gonna work. I'll be the first to admit, I am definitely a noob at all of this. I am by no means an outdoorsy kind of person, though I do love to be outdoors like a lot of people do, and I am far from being a survivalist. So I'm happy to do this trial run. I did it in a place that's pretty close to home, so if anything went wrong, I could get home pretty quickly. But I would say that it was a pretty big success, and I'm looking forward to how I can build on this, and looking forward to maybe some help from you guys. If you have any tips, gear that you like, recommendations, or anything like that that you think would make me more comfortable or make this whole process for me easier, please let me know down in the comments. And that's kind of the beauty of a project like this, is that I get to kind of build on it as time goes. It's starting out really foundational right now, just with whatever I already had and then a couple of new things. And then I can like make it more comfortable as we go, and with recommendations from wonderful folks like yourself. But mostly I'm just excited about what this means for potential future photography and videography adventures that I can go on, what it means for the channel, the content that I might be able to make with this setup, and just kind of what it means for the fun and excitement of getting out there more and being able to do things like this. But it's pretty much time to start getting packed up and getting out of here. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time, hopefully on an adventure. Camp coffee hits different.
I love a good spork.